Are you available still? Do you have to go?
No, I'm definitely available. I'm definitely available. I'm here. So, yeah, I don't forget my obligations.
All right. Well, I don't know how this space is gonna go, but it's been a while since I actually fulfilled the topic, if you know what I mean. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it, even if like not many people are listening to me. Um, Goal setting and just having goals in general has been something on my mind like recently. It's so crazy how it just kind of came up, and now we're like talking about it. So that, see how God works, like, ooh, he knows what to put on our hearts and like what we need to tell and share with the world. So today we're talking about the importance of goal setting. And I put the title as Goals Are Not for the Weak. Let's talk about it, because truly, goals are not for the weak. You know, if you, and in my opinion, if you got something to say, come up and take the mic. Happy to hear your thoughts. Even Ness, if you have something to say against it, I would be happy to hear. But in my opinion, what I meant by that is that you can't be. Um, so recently, back up a little bit, I was talking to someone about the idea of setting goals for that individual. And I told them, you know, I can't really speak because I have a hard time myself setting goals and then making those goals happen. But why don't we try this? And immediately they were kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that. And so I was like, not to say that person was weak, but it kind of showed a characteristic of like the opposite of like moving forward and strength and persistence and consistency, anything positive. It was just like I kept throwing out ideas and it was always like, no. And so in my eyes, that kind of makes me feel like possibly you're not strong enough to set goals at this moment. Maybe we should, you know, unwind, relax, center ourselves, and come back to the idea of investing into ourselves. What do you think, Ness? What is goals are not for the weak means to you?
Well, for me, and I'll keep this on the eye. Okay, so I have done something for myself as of late, just to set small goals, smaller goals for myself instead of trying to go for something big. So what I've done was I said, okay, well, I'm lurking on Twitch a lot. I have a computer. I have a phone. I know how to. I'm learning how to work VTuber. Why don't I fucking start like doing streams? And so I said, fuck it, let's go. And I did that. And that one little small goal became something big. So now I got fucking 69 followers, you know, just from lurking on different streams. So people coming in on my streams and actually engaging with me and whatnot and talking to me. I got rated like twice, which is cool. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Just from that one small goal, three other goals came right behind it. And I didn't even set those three other ones. Just that one small one just made those little moves. And so that's why I try to tell you, you set one small goal, it can change everything. Instead of chasing those big goals, you know what I'm saying? Now me, I'm a person that doesn't plan shit. I don't plan a fucking thing in my life. But if you gave me if I set a small goal for myself, it's different from a plan. Now I can plan something, but I know that plan will fail. But if I set a small little goal for myself, go, hey, you know what? I'm going to achieve this small little thing. Everything will change from there because, and I've seen that happen. Hell, last December, no matter like this past December, I said, all right, you know what? I'm making a game. Why don't I just start pushing out music onto the freaking internet instead of just like keeping it in the game? And guess what? I did that. Just setting that small goal got me to freaking found Sound XYZ, and I started putting my music on there. I'm on Siki and I'm on Sound XYZ. Beautiful, terrific. So setting those small goals for me actually helped. And some people they can't do that. And and I'm gonna go back to what you were saying earlier about how you were trying to set somebody up to for a goal for them to better themselves, but unfortunately they weren't ready. And why? Because they didn't have nothing. They probably didn't feel like there was an incentive, or maybe just maybe they were not ready. And this is a lot of people. A lot of people aren't ready. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sad that they're not, but then again, they may have other ideas or plans for themselves, but it's up to the individual at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that all makes sense.
Yeah, it totally did. And I'm so happy that you were able to set a goal and feel productive and successful through that process. Um, I definitely think it is important to set goals in different categories. Like for me, and Ness, you can tag along with this after, but for me, like I've heard of SMART goals, which I think has a what is the word I'm looking for? Like has some truth to it, setting it in specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and I believe it was time bound. Yes. So SMART is like the acronym that people use to set their goals. And I do follow that, but I like to break them down in categories. So I like to focus not only on my personal life, but all areas of my life. So I do like spiritual, personal, um, intellectual, uh, relational. Like I try all the knolls. You know what I'm talking about. But I try to break it down in categories, and I think there is such thing as a short term, medium term, and long term goals. And focusing on those short term goals first is definitely a little bit more of a success route, in my opinion. It's good to set those medium and long term goals, but know and expect it not to change overnight, because we need to, like you said, set those small goals and do short term goals in order to make that long term goal. But always keep the long term goal as the bigger picture. Um, there's also a difference between possible outcome goals, performance goals, process goals. So I think it's more of like analyzing your ways, or your ability, I think, to set goals, have the outcome, how you're going to make it happen, and what is the process that you're going to take. So for me, like if I had a goal to, which I did this morning, I did have a goal this month, or even I guess this year, to physically take myself out on Sundays to church in the morning. So what I did was I thought of two ways that can possibly happen. And one of them being, except I get invitations to go to church a lot. And I'm always like, I'm one of those people. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna like watch it online. And so I said, I'm gonna accept invitations to go to the actual place. Two, I'm going to say a prayer before I go, because technically and truthfully, a lot of it has to do with the inner anxiety and the inner feelings of like, oh crap, I'm going in front of all these people, even though nobody else cares about this, just I do. But I straight up would like talk myself out of it. Pretty much I'll be walking out the door getting all these tingly feelings, and I'm like, I don't want to go, like should I go? So what I did was I said a prayer, and I said, today I want it to be a good day. I want it to be all about you. It's not about the people that I'm going with, it's not about the people that I meet, it's all about you. And if that's meant for me to like not talk to certain people, not interact with certain people, then God, remove those people from that period of time, and make that interaction and that time with you the only thing that matters. So that happened today, like, and not to go like all deep and spiritual right now, but like I went to church with the person who invited me, and I focused on the message. We went to get bagels, and I felt like God was blocking me from conversations that didn't need to happen. And I felt so great after church, and just feeling like, you know, um, the message was about like not letting your flesh control the way that um, you live. You are not of flesh, you are of Jesus Christ. And once we submit our talents and our goals, like for example, if you are good at something, like maybe putting on Twitter spaces and talking to people behind the screen. Maybe I need to submit that to the Lord in order for Him to use me and to be able to share His strength through me. Like, I am the vessel. So I met, yeah. Anyways, I'm going onto a tangent, but Ness, what are some ways that you maybe set goals? And then if you could talk about like overcoming challenges, what are like common obstacles that you see yourself facing when you set those goals, and how do you overcome them?
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm actually going to go down the spiritual route, and then I'm going to continue from there, if that's okay. Because I am very spiritual. You know, I'm Jewish. So for me, the first thing I do is I say a little prayer before I get up out of my bed, before I make any other movements. It's a small little prayer. It's in Hebrew. It's called Modeh, which means thank you, Lord, for waking me up, for bringing back my soul to my body, and to giving me the strength to continue to live and go throughout my day. As soon as I say that, now I can go through my day without any hesitation, without any worries about anything. And I don't plan shit throughout my day. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you told me to plan out something for the week, I'm gonna look at you and laugh like, yeah, no. If you're not on my calendar, we're not gonna talk. Basically, and that's basically the whole gist of it. It's like, you know, um, whatever. Anyway, I got distracted by something. I apologize. Um, one of the funniest things though, after I do that prayer, is I will still lay there for like a good like 20 minutes. I'll grab my phone, you know, read my siddur, which I keep on my phone. I do have a physical one, which is a prayer book, so I keep that in my locker. But I also have one on my phone. So I look through my phone. I'll read all the readings and whatnot. Read through my siddur, read the Torah parsha, and be like, okay, I feel good now. I can get up and move. And by the time I get up and want to get up and move, I'm like, okay, wait, I gotta make coffee, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Okay, I go through my routine. Fine, get the routine done, and then as soon as I turn on the laptop or whatever, I'm like, all right, let's get things going. So I already have 90% of my day done by the time lunchtime hits. It's like, and this is without planning. This is without planning. I just have a routine that I do every day religiously because it works. If I planned it, it wouldn't work. Period. But now on to the goal setting part. Okay, so what I do is somewhere along throughout the day, whether it be like from the time I wake up after I do my prayer to the time I eat my lunch or breakfast. Sometimes after lunch though, I will um, I'll grab my siddur and I'll be like, okay, I don't have nothing planned today. What I want to do, what do I want to achieve, what is something I want to do today? And so today, and I'll take today as an example. So today I said, you know what, I want to do a stream early today. I don't want to do a stream later in the night. I'm trying to catch people early in the day and whatnot, and I did that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I did stream last night, so I was like, all right, I did a stream last night. I'm kind of tired, but you know what? I want to do one during the day. So I did one this morning between 11 o'clock, oh, yeah, somewhere around 11 o'clock. And it worked. It worked out great because, like, okay, cool. I had people come in that I normally vibe and chill at near streams and whatnot. And then after that, I said, you know what? Let's go raid somebody. Let's just go raid one of my friends, somebody I'm cool with and whatnot. And they were happy that I came by. That wasn't planned. None of this was planned. It was just like, you know what? I had this little goal in my mind to go, hey, I'm going to do a stream. I'm going to raid one of my friends and just show my support and love to them. And it worked. It worked out great. Um, I do have to say one thing though, Jessica. We hope you feel better. We know you have a sore. You're not feeling too well, and we understand that. Our prayers are with you. We love you, sis. So yeah, and welcome Harley. Welcome. I'll pass it back to Megs so she can ask you the questions of setting your goals. But yeah, let me get back to Megs.
Thanks, Ness. Yes, welcome, Harley. And yeah, I see some other people in the room. Trusted, Nessie, Joe, Okami. Thank you for being here. And yes, Jessica, I hope you feel better. I saw you've been juicing or something, and yeah, I hope I do feel like I get a little bit weird feelings depending on the fruits that I or veggies that I put in. So yeah, I hope you feel better. But Harley, yes, thank you. Welcome to the room. We're talking about goals and how goals can sometimes be a little difficult for people and maybe not be something that they're ready for, Ness said. I translated it to goals are not for the weak. I know it's a little direct and harsh, but I do feel like you have to have some kind of resiliency and you have to have some kind of strength in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And maybe if you're not willing to make those changes and, like Ness said, develop a routine, a plan, habits that can get you towards that goal, maybe you're not ready for the goal setting. Maybe you're not ready to do that. So, um, I had asked him, how do you overcome challenges? But I think I want to ask you a different question. So, we talked about SMART goals, types of goals, discussing short term, medium, and long, and how you have to kind of start with a short term goal in order to see the bigger picture and accomplish that. But have you ever like visualized a goal, or maybe like visualized contributing to the goal so that you achieve the goal? And maybe how has that been? I mean, maybe you haven't done this, but if you haven't or have, I'd love to hear about it. And then if you could maybe talk about the effectiveness of affirming them through visualization and how that maintains motivation and positive vibes for you and your goal process. Is that a lot? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Oh no, maybe I have like some takes on those. Well, yeah, setting goal actually before I set some unrealistic goal, or let's say big goals, and I am someone who's like easily get disappointed in myself, and whenever I get the disappointment in myself, I will be like losing the motivation already, and I'll be like, no, I can't do this. So I come up with a solution for myself. I was like, all right, I'll be setting, I call it smaller goals, and I don't really visualize it to achieve the bigger goals. I'll just want to achieve the smaller ones. I'm not gonna think about uh, the bigger ones. I'll just focus on the smaller. Which first, for example, this is like a true story kind of thing, because before, when I was working as a call center agent, I have lots of like debt, and I'm really, whenever I have the pay, I'll be in the, doing some drinking and I kind of, overspend. And that results to debt. And I cannot earn, or I cannot save. And it's like, okay, there's a point in my life where I say, okay, I just want to have all those debt erased, because whenever I think of something like I want to be rich, that's the bigger goal. I want to be someone who just go out there and have the money to spend. Do not count the, you know do not have to check your balance first before going to the groceries and such. And that was a dream, but it's like I get disappointed every time, because it's the same, it's the same for me. Like I don't have the be- because if I think like, okay, if I'm not gonna drink now, then it's gonna be still tomorrow. I will still have the same debt, or I mean, I'm not rich still tomorrow. So I kind of have to. So when I said to myself, okay, I don't want this debt anymore, because it's getting crazy, the embarrassing, and that's true. So I had to look for another job, which um, I worked for two jobs. While I'm doing some calls, I also started as a chatter, and then that goal, I want to erase. I want to pay all of my debt so that I can have, my whole pay for me, so that I can still, I won't be. I don't need to lend ask for money anymore for the others, or I have the budget enough for myself, and or for my needs. And then I don't know why it's easier for me to achieve that. And when I achieved that, I felt great. I had more, I became more. Um, I want to have one more smaller goals. I have this motivation that, oh, I achieved one goal. I can do that, and that started. I look around and I said, oh, I want a television. And then, start from there. Okay, I want a sofa. So, and then it became from one dream, or not dream, one goal, to this dream that I was just dreaming before. It's like going to the groceries, not needing to, not needing to count the the balance on your account, and I'm able to buy my parents everything. It was a dream before that I thought is never gonna come true, and now, by doing those smaller goals, when I look back, it's that made my dream come true. By setting smaller ones, and then you feel confident of yourself, and just by achieving those, it's like, yeah,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's awesome. Once you feel the success of one thing, you want to keep doing it, keep trying it. That's really cool. I can resonate on that level of like independency and just adulting. Oh my gosh, adulting is like ridiculous. And I remember the first time I bought a sofa and a TV, I felt the same way. And you have to budget. You have to not be disciplined to not spend money so that you can buy things for that goal. And you're making these smaller goals, like not spending money, not using it for other things, all that stuff, so that you can accomplish those bigger goals. So I can see how you were visualizing, like probably looking on your wall and being like, I see a TV here. What kind of TV do I see? I see this kind of TV. And then applying that to your actual spending habits. Sometimes I make things like a vision board. But Ness, I did see your hand up. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, one of the things I was going to remark, and this is not towards Haley, but towards everyone, is what you should do is, and this is something that I did many years ago, right? Now, I had two different types of letters that I wrote to myself. One that was like something that I could keep right near me is called my short-term goals, right? So I would keep that close to me at all times, and I could cross out whatever goals that I had. So when you do short-term goals, what you do is you're going to set something that's easy, attainable, and accessible. Something that you know you can live within your budget. And I'm glad you brought that up, Megs and Haley, Harley, excuse me. That you have something within your budget. You know what I'm saying? Now, me, I have unattainable dreams. Those are my long-term goals. And the reason why I call them my long-term unattainable dreams is because I know eventually, within the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, I will obtain them. I will attain them, except for like maybe two of them. That'll take a lifetime, but that's okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. Why? Because I'm getting these smaller goals there now. Those are the ones I'm focused on. It's going to lead me to those big goals. But before I continue with my rant, I want to pass it to Jessica because she actually came up, and I want to give a special shout out to Okami. Thanks for coming in. All seat, I see you. Trusted, I don't know who you are, but I see you down there. And who is this? I'm sorry. Authored Style, thank you for being in here. Please comment, like, retweet the space in that purple pill down in the right hand corner if you can. If you can't come up, you can definitely just shoot your comments, questions, or anything that you wish to speak about down below, and I will gladly make sure that I'm in the comment section, getting to those when we have time. All right. I will definitely answer your questions in there. But if we're able to do it on the space, then terrific. I will answer your questions here on the space. But I will pass, if it's okay with Megs, I would like to pass it to Jessica for just a week over, because I know she's been going through a lot, and she made the effort to come into the space. So go ahead, Jessica, take it away. How are you today?
Jessica, hey girl, you there? Ring ring.
Okay, you might be a little busy. Because I know you have the kids and whatnot. So you might be a bit busy, but that's okay. Um, yeah.
You know, um, just on the topic of Jessica, she's been a huge accountability and support for me. And I think the role of accountability and support is super important when achieving goals and having the right people around your table, and individuals who are able to be accountability partners with you. Really help you to feel motivated and encouraged. So, oh, Jessica's back. Hey, Jessica.
Hello. Were y'all ringing me?
We were.
They was ringing me. I, I'm so sorry, Megs. I just want to say I apologize. I had to come up and speak because, man, yes, I have been going through it, but I had to show up. I had to be here and make sure that I came and spoke on the space because, I love goals and I love you and I support you and everything that you do, all the steps that you make. But yeah, I don't know what is happening. I'm going through it and I'm trying to figure it out. And then had ginger ale and baked chips and all kinds of stuff. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm supposed to be speaking in the space. This is before I came up to listener. I was like, Mom, I'm supposed to be speaking in the space. And my mom is still on the phone. I was like, and she was like, well, baby, you just gonna have to tell him sorry. You just gonna have to tell him. I was like, no, I can't. I need to speak. Yeah, but my mom was like, no, you got to hold up. But anyway, I wanted to say that for your goals to work, you have to have the proper systems in place to make those goals work. So having the goal is fine, but you have to have these systems, meaning like the tools that you're using, knowing how you're using the tools, knowing how you're setting up certain automations to free up your time, all of those things. But I just wanted to come and say, hey, thanks for ringing me. I appreciate it. I heard the ring and then I heard my name and I was like, oh, hold up. I was like, oh, hold up. I have to answer the call.
No worries, sis. We got you. We got you. We appreciate you for coming in. And your mom is right. I mean, like, maybe she, and this is one of the things that I tell people, like, mothers always know best. Don't ever question mom, do. So when mom says, you know what, get your rest, I say get your rest. You know what I'm saying? But we appreciate you for even coming into here and doing what you do, because we know you're a magnificent woman. You're a strong mother and just powerful. So keep doing what you do. And I'm gonna pass it back to Megs real quick. Thank you for your support, guys.
Yes, thanks, Jessica. That was so true. Like, the process is everything. The process is what makes it happen. And a huge part about the process is being able to be adaptable and flexible so that you are able to adjust to the goal that is necessary or the process that is necessary to achieve that goal. How and maybe this is a good question to say hi to Wiz. And if you're willing and able, I'd love to hear your answer. How can individuals effectively adapt their goals in response to changing circumstances? So let's say you set a goal, you're in the routine, you're in the habit. For example, you want to buy a TV. You're saving money, but then boom, you blow your tire. Your tire needs a new tire. It needs some fixing. So, what kind of things can you do to effectively adapt to these goals in response to that circumstance or any circumstance? And hi, Wiz. Thanks for being here.
Yo, it's poppin'.
Yeah, do you want to answer the question or you want to pass it? It's okay if you want to pass it.
No, it's fine. Definitely got my gears turning on that one. I mean, there's two things that instantly came up to mind for me when you mentioned that. Um, I don't know if you aware of who that is, but Rick Rubin. This is someone this I've been really getting into as of late, and He's a very zen kind of person. He's mostly well known for his involvement with basically every person ever in the music industry. Chances are, if you're a music fan, he's responsible for the stuff you enjoy. You know, Jay Z, Madonna, Metallica, and so on and so forth. And he talks a lot about the idea of diary entries and control in terms of if you're outcome focused, you're basically fucking yourself over. He never walks into a project expecting a certain outcome. He just treats it like a diary entry for that day and only that day. And something about that is really liberating, in my opinion. But on the other hand, the problem, the puzzle loving person in me can help but think about this concept called polymorphism, which is it's a word that comes from like ancient uh, Latin and Greek, and it basically means to take many shapes. And yeah, like keeping your systems modular is really important, especially if your goal, assuming you're someone who takes this whole idea of being a solo creator seriously, like sometimes you kind of have to cheat a little bit and not really negotiate in terms of what needs to be done. So for me, the way I manage is by constantly having a storage of stuff I have yet to publish under my belt, but I just don't publish it. I just keep it there until it comes to time for me where I'm on an extended hiatus where I'm like, okay, cool. I can just like rely on that for the next foreseeable future. So that's kind of like how I personally adapt in that way. But other times too, I'll take it even a step further and basically violate my own rules and say, you know what? Instead of doing something that would typically take me 1 hour, I'm gonna do something that will take me 15 minutes. Because at this point, I'd rather do that than do nothing at all. Because over time, even something that um, takes 15 minutes, it does add up over time. And that kind of goes back into my original point about diary entries. A lot of people that I'm aware, they like to say that I want to do X, I want to do Y, but I don't have the time, I don't have the time. And I don't know, something about saying that bothers me personally because again, like you're saying you don't have the time, but like look at your screen time on your phone. Like it's gonna reflect where you spent that time. Chances are, for a lot of you, Ness, I know you're laughing, but let me cook though. It's the fact of the matter is, I know for a fact a lot of you use Twitter. So if you go on your screen time on your phone right now, chances are your screen time on Twitter it's probably gonna be more than 6 hours. So again, are you saying you don't have the time, or you don't channel that time in a way that effectively adds up to your goal, regardless of external outcomes that may or may not impact your directive? So, food for thought.
No, the only reason why I was laughing because it was so fucking true. No, you're right. You're right. No, I mean, like, I did that. I actually did that. A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting there. I was like, wait a minute. I'm spending, like I did in the beginning of last year. I'm spending more time on Twitter than I should be doing when I'm working. And so, as I look through those analytics and I'm watching my screen time and whatnot versus what I'm actually doing, I'm like, okay, wait. Am I really doing anything productive? So I said, okay, you know what? Let me slow down with that. So I stopped the screen. I literally like monitored my screen time to where it's like, okay, how much I'm on, not just on Twitter, but how much I'm on Twitch, or just in general on my phone, like watching something or listening to something rather than doing my work. And so when I did the research, I'm sitting there like, you know what, that makes sense. So that's what I was laughing at. That's the only reason why I laughed, was because it made perfect sense. Like you really have to sit down and go, wait a minute, am I really being productive? Is this a goal of mine to like be like the number one person that's on Twitter lurking all day long? No, I want to be productive. So now I'm like, okay, if I'm on Twitter, it's gonna be for something that I know is gonna be productive. It's gonna have a goal tethered to it. So today I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll do my GM post. I'll probably post up a couple other things. I'll post up that I'm doing I'm doing my stream, but at the same time, I'm gonna get my work done. And so after my stream, I got some work done and I was productive. And then I looked at my screen time, like, okay, cool. I know I have to come on because I did make a promise and an obligation to be here in this space. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on this space to do what I need to do. And then afterwards, I can go back and just chill and vibe out, probably do some more work and get that done. Those are the small goals that I set for myself. Now, for other people, and I'm again, Wiz, I'm so glad you are here because I love this man's mind. By the way, if you're not following this man, all of you guys follow him. This man is he will have you thinking outside the box every time. But one of the other things that I've noticed with myself, especially, and again, I'm gonna keep this on the eye, is that, like I said, I'm not a person that plans anything out, but at the same time, I do set little goals throughout my day. So what I'll do is like I'll look at my calendar as soon like after I do my morning prayers and what, like I said earlier in the space, and I will write down, okay, I want to accomplish this goal, this goal, and this goal, and I'll put it through those times, and this is where the time sensitive thing comes into play. So I'm like, okay, I know I need to accomplish this around 3 o'clock. This other goal I want to set for 6 o'clock, and this other goal I want to set for maybe before I go to sleep, and it always works. I don't know why it works, but it works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. Remember, when you're setting your goals, your short-term ones especially, make sure that there are goals that you can achieve, but that are set for you, not for anybody else. You, all right. And I will pass it back to Megs because, yeah, I'm just gonna pass it back to Megs.
Thanks, Ness. That's true. That's so true. And I think it goes back to the SMART acronym that I like low key don't really care for, but it's so true. Huh?
My bad. I hit the button on mistake.
Dan,
Sorry.
Jessica, no. um, no, so we're talking about, just to reset the room and share with everyone, we are talking about goals, yes, but we're kind of talking about how, at this very moment at least, I got a couple questions, but just about how one might need to be adaptable and flexible, for the importance of adjusting to circumstances that may happen when you have those goals. I use the example of, maybe you want to buy a TV and you're almost there, but then your tire blows and you got to spend your $100 that makes it happen tomorrow. You were going to buy the TV tomorrow and you got to spend that $100 something to buy the tire. So now you can't get it tomorrow. I think, you guys, like Ness and Wiz, had some really great points about making sure you have a routine and making sure you have modular process that is able to be achievable by being very specific. But I think it's also a good idea in terms of adaptability to be able to maybe take a step back and prioritize what's important in the present time. You know, sometimes we set these goals and then we don't necessarily make them happen. And then we're like, oh, dang, like I'm so unsuccessful and this sucks and I'm just so stupid, you know, and you start tearing yourself apart. And I think it's okay to be okay with circumstances change, flexibility, and just being able to know that it's okay that it doesn't happen right now, but it will happen, because I am a strong person and I am persistent, I am consistent, and it will this space was supposed to happen 3 weeks ago, and and I was gonna cancel it again this week, but I was like, no, you know what, I have a podcast to meet expectations for my 7 subscribers, maybe 9, I don't remember. But you know, I have a responsibility, I guess, in a way. Jessica.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to say that. Okay, Mace, because we understand from a spiritual, biblical point of view, right? We Everything for me, everything that happens is a test. Everything is to see if you are going to continue to thrive, if you're going to continue to strive, if you're going to continue to have the faith to keep pushing. So you save that, that money to I've had it happen before. I used to save money when I worked at a daycare. I saved money. I had like 180 something dollars. My husband's car got towed and it cost $180. Y'all, do you know how crazy that is to save the exact amount of money that you need to get a car out of tow. That is so crazy to me. So, but and back then, of course, I'm looking at it like, oh, I did all this hard work and blah blah, right? But now, if that was to happen, I'd be like, okay, that's a minor thing that happened. I'm going to continue to have faith and just start over again. But this time, when I start over, when I start over saving, I'm going to add an extra $2 or $3 into it, or I'm going to have two savings this time, right? And I'm going to split the money in half. That way I have a savings for this and a savings for this, or something of that nature. Like, I'm going to look at it again, what I'm doing, and then create a different plan. So goals for me is something that or is something that changes over time. Like, literally could change in a week, right? You could have one goal, and then eventually by the end of the week, end of the month, that goal changes. But to make sure that you are doing what is absolutely going to move the needle and help you achieve that goal, you have to have days where you're checking in with yourself. You're checking in with the progress. You're saying, okay, you know, if the goal, you set the goal to be completed on the 5th and or the 30th, and it's the 5th, right? So you need to have 2 or 3 check-in days in between that time with specific milestones that you want to have hit. That way you can tell if you're going above or if you're going below what the milestone is for that goal. Everything, all of your goals need to have a plan, need to have check-in days, and you also have to watch how much time you're spending on each task that you're completing in order to get to your goal. That way you can expedite your process, because you're saying, oh, it's taking me an hour to do this and I want to do it in 30 minutes. How can I do that, right? So seeing how you can make your progress or your process move more quickly, or is there a way that you can outsource, or is it a system that you can use to automate, or anything like that? So something along those lines. Hopefully that was helpful, but I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Jessica. That was so great. Just being persistent, consistent, and just showing up for your goals through the time period that you're working on them. I think that's very important as well. Wiz, hi. Do you have something to contribute?
Yeah, so uh, you mentioned the whole keeping yourself accountable thing for the sake of a podcast, and it just so happens that's a bit of my realm of expertise, because over the course of a year, I basically managed to publish well over 500 hours of material, and I've done so with nothing but spaces. Actually, scratch that. It's either spaces or Discord. That's usually the kind of approach I've taken in doing that. Um, and then in that time span, I've basically reached 100,000 people using my hosting platform called Substack. I don't know if anyone has heard of it, but for me, it works out pretty great because it plays into that diary entry approach I mentioned earlier, where I don't necessarily have a schedule per se, in the sense that I have to do something once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's more so that I really take this iterative approach of documenting in real time the stuff I either care about or the stuff I think could be interesting for people. And it works out, man. And for you specifically, to be honest, I think in terms of the idea of staying adaptable in that medium, an accountability buddy will help you a ton, because uh, for me, my accountability system, it's basically my scheduling, where once I have something set with someone in terms of having them as a guest on the podcast, or I guess creating a space in general, I always make sure to have that stuff be done via email officially, so that everyone is on the same page, everyone is aware that this stuff is supposed to come up, as opposed to just, DMing people and assuming that they'll remember, because, people are people. They may be on their phones all the time, but their attention may not be in the right place. So I really make sure to kind of emphasize that off the bat with everybody. And another thing I do too is that I look at this like particular story that stood out to me quite a bit in this realm of staying adaptable in the pursuit of maintaining a certain output. There's this author I discovered fairly recently, and I don't know if any of you are into sci-fi at all, but basically, in the sci-fi top 10 bestseller of all time, the guy that's number six, his story really was interesting to me because this is a guy who basically was at a time where he was basically struggling, never really had something going for him, and he lived in North Carolina, of all places. And no shade to North Carolina, but it's not a whole lot going on there. So of all things, he said, you know what? I'm gonna publish books because of fucking course he wanted to publish books. It's like you could have chosen any tough things to do, but books, you went with that. So he basically settled on I'm gonna go with the bare minimum job that pays me $10 an hour, and gives me about as much time as possible to do what I need to do, and I'll just write books in the meantime. And for him, it worked out, man, because he dedicated obsessively early hours of his day, late evenings, post shift of his time to writing a book. And he cranked one out like in under 3 weeks. And the first one he dropped, he sold 1,000 copies, put it out on Amazon, and he sold it at $1 each, and it was okay. Not nothing worth writing home about. But then he didn't stop there. He actually took away the lesson from that and doubled down, and basically realized that he had a fan base of the get go that wanted to buy his book because it's 1,000 people. It's 1,000 real people who paid him $1 each for his book. So he followed up with that same formula again for a sequel for that book. And at that point, he's made $10,000 more. So once he realized he had something going for him, he basically kept doing that and released a whole series of books, which eventually led him to earning, a six-figure income off of his books alone, to the point where eventually publishing companies started to reach out to him, asking him, "Hey, you got something pretty dope going on here. We want to sponsor you, basically." So all of this to say that the commitment really is what saved his ass in this sense. Because running a book, very much like a podcast, it's a high commitment kind of thing. You either do it or you don't. At the end of the day, sure, like you can afford to take breaks here and there, but the fact of the matter is, if you're not doing the output properly so that people can discover your stuff and maintain that relationship with you, it's not gonna work out. So really, really cannot stress enough this idea of like commitment thing. Even if you feel like you don't want to do it, or even if you feel like what you have to publish is not really gonna go anywhere, you would be very surprised. So food for thought.
Yeah, thank you. I love that story. I think it's a good segue to celebrating milestones. I don't know if you think that, but that's the first thing I thought of was just like once he completed one book, it kind of inspired him in a way to celebrate that small victory by achieving larger goals, which was creating a whole line of books. I When I think of celebrating, oftentimes, maybe the concept of partying comes to mind. But in this moment that we're talking about healthier habits and routines in order to achieve goals, if anyone has an answer, and Okami, sorry, I forgot you were up here, but if you'd like to contribute to this question, what are ways that you reward progress to stay motivated throughout a journey that you're taking? So let's say you set a goal, it achieved, you fulfilled the goal, you want to celebrate. What would be something that you do to reward that progress? It doesn't have to be Okami. It can be somebody else if Okami.
um, that's a great question. Like, I I don't even I like when I think about it, like in the moment, I reward myself, but at the same time, when I like 90% of the time, I'm not even thinking. I'm just doing something else. But I guess some ways in reward, I just buy things with my crypto because I'm already there on a computer. So that's my reward for myself.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think I have a shopping problem, where like I will reward myself for getting paid on payday by shopping. I'll be like, yes, paycheck, let's go.
I'm the same way. I'm like, all right, what am I getting today?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, anybody else have some strategies that they want to share on how they reward their progress in order to stay motivated for that journey you're trying to take?
Well, for me, what I do is because everyone knows I'm a gamer, so naturally, I would like I would like set my goal to like, okay, you know what? I know I want to get this one particular game. Say, oh, I want to play it. So that'll be my reward for playing. Just to get to play the game. So I'm like, all right, I got to do X, Y, Z amount of work throughout my week in order for me to achieve this goal. If I can't achieve this goal before the end of the week, Friday afternoon, I'm not playing that game. And so I'll do that to myself, and it works. It's effective because now it's like, okay, it's motivating me to get my work done while and then I get the goal to go, okay, you know what, I can get this game, I can download it, I can play it, and I'm a happy camper. So, that's just me as a gamer. Now, outside of that, you know, and this is something that you brought up earlier as well, Megs. I actually have my life coach hold me accountable for everything that I do in terms of reaching my goals. Because if he knows me, like I can be super lazy. I'm not even gonna cap on that one. I can be ridiculously lazy at times, and he will hold me accountable to that. He's like, dude, you being lazy again? Like, no, I'm not. I'm getting up, I'm moving around, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. He's like, all right, cool. What are 3 goals you got set for your day today? And this is what I mentioned earlier about those 3 different times of the day, those small little goals that I wish to do. I'm like, all right, well, I wish to achieve this, this, and this, but and I'll pick random times. So again, for now, we're just shits and giggles. We just say, okay, um, 1 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, and maybe 5 in the afternoon, and then the last one would be like before I go to sleep, right? So I'll set 3 little goals for myself, and right before I go to sleep, I'll let my life coach know, hey, I think I achieved all 3 goals, and then I'll have my little checklist to go through them, and it works. But then he's holding me accountable to make sure that I got the work done. So he's like, okay, well, let me see what you did. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll screen share what I'm showing, what I've done throughout my day. He's like, okay, cool. How are you gonna reward yourself throughout, for the day? I'm like, oh, I'm cool, man. I can chill for the day. I just got something set up for the end of the week, my work week. And he's like, all right, cool, do that. And so at the end of the work week, he'll naturally ask me, hey, bro, how you doing today? I'm like, I'm doing all right, man. We'll go through conversations and whatnot. He's like, so did you achieve all your goals for the week that you wanted to achieve? I'm like, well, I may have missed 1 or 2, and that's fine, but I'm not going to reward myself until after I make sure that I achieved all of my goals. And he's like, well, don't treat yourself so hard, but for now, just go treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't don't allow yourself to be overbeared because you missed 1 to 3 goals. It's fine. And I'm like, no, these were goals that I had set. And he's like, no, don't stress it too much. These are just short-term, small goals that you wanted to accomplish. You may not have gotten to them, and that's okay. It's okay not to get to them, but you have to understand that you got most of the work done, and that's what matters. And as long as you're doing that for yourself, you're good. But he does hold me accountable. Definitely holds me accountable for a lot of things that I do because, like I said, he's my life coach. He's been helping me out. Even my other life coach, who she's been holding me accountable as well, terribly so. Um, she makes sure that I do everything in my power what I say I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because like I tell a lot of people, when I say I mean what I say and I say what I mean, and I also do exactly as I say. Not all the time in the manner that I should, but it gets done. And it's all a process. You know what I'm saying? It is a process, and you have to take those small little steps. It's all about baby steps. You didn't come out your mom's womb learning how to walk, right? We all came out there crying, being held, learned how to crawl, and then we learned how to walk through a walker or by other means, right? And so those are small goals that our parents set for us. So learn to teach us how to talk, how to walk, how to be ourselves, right? And so as adults now, we have to carry that on. And one of my main goals now is that I teach people that works for me is I don't allow myself to. Yes, I'm an adult, sure, but at the same time, it's like I don't allow that inner child that's in me to be pushed away too far. And why? Because that little guy that little guy that's in the back of my head, he has dreams, he has goals that he wishes to accomplish. So I'm looking to help him out. You know what I'm saying? So that works for me. But I will pass it back to Megs because I'm like in between watching my friends stream over here on Twitch. They're playing Among Us, and I'm dying over here. But I'll pass it back to you,
Gosh.
Megs.
All right, thanks, Ness. Yeah, that's awesome. Just being able to celebrate and learn from setbacks, and I love that you have that accountability and support as well. Um, Jessica, Jessica's a great outlet for this because she does life coaching as well. So please share your wisdom, Jessica.
Girl, cut it out. I love it. I want to say that I reward myself by capitalizing off of the feeling of like the high of completing something, and then I start the process of planning the next step. So because I feel so good, I'm like, yes, I did this thing, I accomplished the goal, I put out this, or I just recently got a client, so I'm like, yes, the client, so I'm feeling good. And then so the next step for me is to go ahead and start the planning process, right? I'm doing the smaller steps, the foundational steps. And for me that's rewarding because putting I'm putting more into that feeling of like running off of that high. Now, I may end up getting a daiquiri. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might go to the drive-through daiquiri shop and get me a nice little drink for the evening. Cause on the weekends you might just need a little drink. So those are some ways that I celebrate is to capitalize off the feeling and put in a little bit of work so that the next step I can continue to feel proud. I can continue to feel, like this sense of accomplishment. And then while I'm drinking on my daiquiri. So thanks.
All right. So that was awesome. Yeah, I can relate. I have so many times where I celebrated with a quote unquote daiquiri. But I actually want to end the space a little early tonight, give you guys an hour of your day to do what you need to. I encourage you guys to set goals this week just to start with the baby steps of whatever it is that your bigger picture is. Um, Two things before we end. Oh my gosh, everybody is leaving. I said we're gonna end space early. Everybody dips. So,
Everybody was like, "All right, she said the word." Look, I'm here. Look, I'm here. I want to be here. I love the space. I love your energy. So
amen.
if you want to talk, girl,
Hallelujah.
I'm here to talk. Um, I'm trying to see because goals is so important. Makes
It
you.
is.
This is such an important topic, and but the thing is, I think that goals has to have some type of clarity, like clarification, because it's such a broad. A lot of the times we use terms that are very broad, overused, and sometimes we have to really break down into like get into these terms because
Yeah.
like I said, the goal is cool, but how are you I know they have the term that you said, smart, setting
Yeah.
smart goals. But even with that, each letter, each acronym, you're going to have to get into what that really means for you as a person and what that looks like in your life and
Yeah.
how you are setting up again the systems, the processes to accomplish those goals, because the goals is just the thing, it's just the end. Well, I wouldn't even say the end, it's just like a milestone, because
Mhm.
even after you finish that goal, air quotations, that goal, you still have the next step that comes after that. You have to follow up with the check-in, the updates, the review, the analytics, it doesn't matter what the goal is. You have to know that there's a process before and a process after that goal. But girl, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop talking because I know you're trying to end the space. But
No,
I just had to put that out there.
I was gonna wrap it up with talking about like learning from setbacks, because sometimes, like you said, after you achieve that goal, you have to maintain the goal. For me, like being financially stable is a goal that I want. And, there was a time where I was financially stable and I felt good, but how did I make the effort and attempts to maintain that? And goal setting doesn't stop. Like, just because you achieve this goal doesn't mean that you just stop putting in effort to it. It's like a consistent thing that keeps going, and you keep having to feed into it. So just encouraging you guys to learn from those setbacks, to um, take those setbacks and failures into your goal setting process and learn from those times so that you can attract opportunities for growth and learning. Also, keeping in mind that there are not just personal and professional goals. Like Jessica said, we have to get super specific when we set these goals. Once you set the goal, get specific with how you're going to get that goal, and then get specific with what you need to do to get that goal. And like it's all about being super specific and knowing that although you're being specific, it has to be achievable. And sometimes we set unrealistic goals for ourselves, and possibly are not getting towards that goal because the steps that we're trying to take is not able to be made at this very moment in time. So just take failures and setbacks as a motivation for your goal setting process, and think about different techniques for various aspects of your life, like career, health, relationships, personal development, spiritual goals. And then how can you as a person ensure that there is balance and alignment between these different goals? Because truthfully, you are the balance and alignment, and you are the person that is connecting all these different categories and goals into one person, one human being. So that's my closing statement. And maybe we can go around the room. We'll start with Jessica since she has her hand up, and then we'll end with Ness. But let's do closing statements. I love that. Oh my gosh, this is my first time doing closing statements. So Jessica, go ahead. What's your closing statement?
I wanted to say I agree with you wholeheartedly. I want to say this, knowing that one goal, even if it is your business goal, it is going to relate to the other aspects of your life and allow you to feel fulfilled mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. And I just wanted to agree with you on that part, Megs. It may seem like it's one thing that you're working on, but really, when you are accomplishing one thing, you are side effect improving all other aspects of your life. So just when you're setting a goal, think about, if I accomplish this goal, how is it going to affect the other aspects of my life? Much love, many blessings. Thank you so much, Megs, for holding this space and allowing me to speak. Peace.
Thanks, Jessica. Love that. I love Jessica. I met her on a Twitter space, you guys. She's just changing my life every day. Okami, do you have any closing statements you'd like to share with the room?
Can you repeat the question real quick? Sorry.
Oh no, it's just like closing
Oh,
statements. So
that
just
was
like
mine.
what do you want to leave with your energy and mindset? What do you want to leave the space with?
Um, yeah, definitely. This is a good space. I agree with everything that everyone said, especially goals. They're pretty important. I sometimes don't understand how I follow my goals because I literally barely write anything down. So, but somehow it gets accomplished. I don't know how, but I just let it go because I guess that's how I operate, I guess. But it's always good to have a plan and write stuff down.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at the goals that you're accomplishing and see what it is that you're doing to make them happen, and duplicate that. What is that? I just had that quote, once you get what you asked for, ask for discipline to multiply it and keep it, something like that. So that's my encouragement to you. Wiz, got any closing statements?
Closing statement would be pretty simple. Um, Innovate, integrate, iterate. That's it.
Okay, that was cool. I like the eyes, 3 eyes, third eye. No, I don't know. I'm trying to be cool. Okay.
It actually is a reference to the third eye. Glad you caught on. Oh, hey, look at that.
Hey, okay.
You're like an up and coming rapper MC, keeping up with my double entendres. We should talk some
I
more.
really am, I've been practicing freestyling and, music and different areas of my life. And anyways, DCWB, I know that you just got here and we're basically closing the space, but what's up? First of all, I hope you're having a great Sunday. And do you have anything you want to contribute? What's up?
No, I really just wanted to come in here. I saw you had a space up and I was moving around. So sorry I couldn't tune in earlier. Just want to say, like, kudos to you. Congratulations and just all the consistency and hard work you've been putting in to actually build out your brand. And I just really love seeing the positivity and just seeing people that are a part of the community, doing what they're doing. So I just wanted to give you your flowers. I mean, if you guys want a little gem, I'd just say, like, it's easy to get things, it's hard to keep things. Anything worth keeping is going to take maintenance to maintain those things and make them grow. So don't focus on getting, focus on keeping. And that's my little 2 cents.
That was beautiful. Don't focus on getting, focus on keeping. I'm going to write that down. Thank you for showing up. No worries about being a little late to the end. It is recorded, so I'm going to have it on my YouTube as well. But yeah, I always love having you in the space. You're an awesome person, so intellectual, and just, being able to, I mean, if I'm being honest, you motivated me to get on with this and make those goals to make this kind of stuff happen. So thank you for that. Ness, you're the last one. Last but not least, any closing statements?
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. No, closing statement. Um, if you set your goals, guys, make sure that they are attainable. Don't be like me and make unattainable dreams and goals for yourselves. You're setting yourself up for failure. But me, I know I'm not, because end of the day, those are long-term goals that I'm setting for myself. Like, so that way I can achieve something better, a better life for myself later on. And even if I don't live to be that old, my kids, my future kids, whatever I have any, or if my nieces and nephews, my cousins and aunts and uncles and all of them, they can live off of those fruits that I labored over. So yeah, my short-term goals are meant for me, and they have been personal and they've worked for me personally. And find things that work for you. Okay, set your goals to you, and if you benefit from them, great. And if they fail, that's okay. Learn from them. Write them down. Write down what went wrong, and then utilize it and capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever
Oh
sell
my
yourself
gosh,
short.
y'all, the space rugged for me.
Oh, don't worry, don't worry. It's recorded. It's recorded. Don't worry. It's recorded. It's recorded. I
I was
got you.
like, holy crap, what just happened? And then it was like reconnect. I'm like, oh, I've never seen this
Yeah,
before.
it happens. So, yeah,
But
Twitter's triggering. I'm sorry, but yeah,
it's okay.
I'm pretty much done with my point. But go ahead, Max. It's all yours. Take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Ness. So my dog's got to go out to use the bathroom. So I think it's about time to call it a burrito and wrap it up. So thank you
That'll be
guys.
$250,000, please. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Yeah, that's DCW's line. I stole it for sure. Yeah, I'll give you something. But yes, thank you guys for being here, and have a great Sunday. Set those goals. I'd love to hear about them. If you ever need help, let me know. I'm down to assist you with the process. But for now, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.